Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. So this is a short follow-up video. Um, Again, this isn't about anything truther. I mean, there's always going to be some level of truther thinking or critical thinking or whatever in any type of video. But this is like subjects that I might talk to people about who aren't truthers, who are not talking about spirituality, like some sort of like if I had casual interaction, social interactions, which I don't, I might talk about sports because you have to find some sort of common ground. So I'm just sort of posting things on this channel to keep it alive, keep the channel getting some level of viewership. But most of my other content, for those of you who don't know, I think some of you guys don't know if based on the comments, is on my Pockets of the Future channel. That's my original channel. And so this is my backup channel, or I was using this to post about COVID things and died suddenly and some of these other things that I couldn't post in the other channel. And so, you know, I at some point want to make content here regularly, but it's not happening anytime soon. And so once in a while I might talk about sports or something, about something other people aren't talking about, or when I have sort of a difference of opinion than the status quo. And the reason I'm doing this follow-up video is, I had this observation that the Golden State Warriors, again, taking in consideration how the NBA is entertainment, and doesn't need to be any sort of comments about that, whatever it is, right? This is specifically about this one subject. Whether people are interested or not doesn't really matter. It's just me making occasional content, keeping the channel, like not going into a place where YouTube considers the channel dead and, just disavows it or whatever they do if you don't post content for a while. But in the video, I stated that I didn't think the Jimmy Butler trade was much of a big deal. Golden State Warriors were like a mediocre team. And you could see by the way they were playing and some of the holes that Jimmy Butler filled and some of the other things that were happening, other players stepping up, the whole vibe of the team. I've seen them compete against some of the better teams, and they just couldn't win down the stretch. And now, with all the changes, they certainly can do that. And so I said that they're a legitimate contender. There's various teams that could possibly win the championship, go to the NBA Finals, and the Golden State Warriors weren't one before, and they are now. And I pointed out how all these pundits were not seeing it. Like their job is to look at these things and see it, and that's not my job. Like I'm just doing it as a casual, sometimes viewer of basketball games, right? Like something that's just, if I hadn't played basketball in the past, I would not even be doing that now. It's just something that, reminds me of my youth or whatever. It's like it's some sort of, thing that I have linking to me to my like past life as a young person, as a kid and a college person, whatever. I really haven't played basketball in years. I shot some baskets a few times, once in a while. I now have a basketball hoop, but I hadn't picked up a basketball in 6, 7 years, like things like this, right? It's something from my past. But I'm a fan of the Golden State Warriors, the way they play, and I could see a difference in the team now. And so, sure enough, today's Monday, February 24th, the Golden State Warriors beat the Dallas Mavericks quite handily. They're blowing teams out. They blew out the Houston Rockets. And these pundits are finally realizing what I realized. They're not going as far as calling them contenders, which I'm sure they will if they win a bunch more games. They beat some of the better teams. But here, let me just show you this Stephen A. Smith. I have some of these. I'll put a loop of these various, videos about this. There's a variety of these pundits, these sports analysts who are now all saying the Golden State might upset somebody. They'll probably definitely make it into the playoffs. And so it's just gradual. At some point they'll jump on the bandwagon because eventually they do. And they always feed off each other's opinions. Like there's such a clique type of situation in sports where nobody wants to say something that other people don't agree with. I mean, they say things outrageous once in a while to get views, but that's done purposefully. But in general, it's just this weird group think, just like in mainstream media where they all, have these limited bandwidth of opinions and no one wants to be. It's like a scientist that goes against the, scientific data and the consensus of scientific opinion, right? It's just so bizarre that they're so scared to go outside the box and say something and even see something that the other people can't see. especially since it's their job. But anyways, here's the thing from Stephen A. Smith.
Golden State.
I think I was wrong when I first spoke about
I'm sorry.
it. Yes, I think I was. I look at the West again. I don't have them winning it, but I can't summarily dismiss what I'm seeing and how impressive it's been.
So Stephen A.'s point was that Jimmy Butler getting fouled a lot is, important to Steph Curry getting rest. That's a minute or so where he gets to rest because he runs around a lot and, he moves without the ball. And so that's going to help him certainly down the stretch of games and in the season, which is, a valid point. But what I said is actually more significant. Not that that isn't true, but Steph Curry gets fouled a lot. And in the last couple minutes of the game, they can play more physical with him in the last 5 minutes of the game when they know that the Golden State Warriors are not in the foul bonus. So if you get 5 fouls in a quarter, like 5 team fouls, then every foul after that, you get to shoot free throws. And Steph Curry is basically automatic. He's the best foul shooter in the history of the game. And so they can't play as physical with him, which makes it easier for him to score. Or if they do foul him, they get easy points. So, all of that and all these other factors that Jimmy Butler brings to the team makes them so much better down the stretch. And it's not even coming to that because they're winning a lot of games, blowing other teams out. Other players are playing great and stepping up for the team. It seems like growing. They're playing better each time I've seen them. And so, they have a valid, again, with the way the league works, the fact that it's entertainment. And, most playoff games, come down to they're close games. There's some close games in playoff series. And it's a team who's able to win those close games, obviously, that's going to win the series. And refs can make a big difference in that, area. And so, whatever that factor is and the rest of it. But the Golden State Warriors could totally win a championship this year. And they should be able to see that, right? There's certain teams you can see they're just different. They're better. There's about 8 teams or so that have a legitimate shot, maybe 6, I don't know, that are playing well enough and have the experience. And, it's also how well they step up during the playoffs, and Jimmy Butler's, known for that, right? But they're discounting all that because the other trades, the one with Dallas getting Anthony Davis and the Lakers getting Luka and some of these other things, made those teams, that was more of something that people has an interest in, which is, better for the Golden State Warriors because they're flying under the radar, right? And so, but I just want to point this out. I made this video 2 or 3 days ago, and now they're already starting to catch up. And it's because when you have a different perspective, when you look at things, you learn to think for yourself and throw away conventional wisdom that's mostly bullshit, right? The powers that be, that you can see things in a way that's much more effective. Like you get there a lot quicker than other people. Anyways, let me wrap this one up here. Only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely point from the Apocalypse and the Ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.